Good morning, welcome back to Krakow. Today we are going to be doing a self-guided tour of the old town and seeing the must-see sights. First of all, we just headed to this square because there's an event on.
We think. We're hoping that it is on. From what I've read, we want to make these like big sort of grand like palace doll houses sort of things. And there's a big competition, but before that they walk around the square for everybody to see them, and then they go into the building and then the judges pick a winner. So
We're heading to the square now and we're going to check that out before starting the self-guided tour, which we'll talk more about in a bit. Okay, we're here now. They're not walking around this time, they're just all by this statue here. So we're just going to have a little walk around and
have a little look at them, I guess.
check them out.
Yeah, so I think it's a bit hard like to see them this year. I think from what I read, they normally like walk around in like a little parade so you can see them better. But it's probably because of COVID that hasn't happened.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, they're all very pretty, they're all very nice.
Yeah, some of them were made by kids, weren't they?
Yeah.
But they had like news reporters and stuff there as well. So
obviously it must be like a really big event in Krakow.
anyway, we're going to start our self-guided tour now. So we're going to head to the first stop and then we'll go into detail a bit more about that. Okay, I was looking for Google for a self-guided tour of Krakow and we found a website with a couple of different ones, so we just chose one, downloaded the app, and we've got a city introduction walk, which is a sightseeing walk of the old town, so it takes you to all the like must-see spots, I guess. But just a little bit about Krakow. So Krakow is recognised as the centre of the academic, arts and cultural life of Poland, established in the 7th century as a tiny hamlet on top of the Wawel Hill overlooking the Vistula River. It's one of the country's oldest cities. Over the course of the next 15 centuries, it has evolved into the nation's second largest urban area. The city itself was actually saved from bombing and total destruction intended by the Nazis in the Second World War, and the old town is actually the first UNESCO World Heritage Site. So that's a bit of a fun fact.
Okay, so our first stop is the Town Hall Tower. It's 70 metres tall and it was built in the 13th century and still stands its ground today.
Yeah, so it was originally accompanied with a town hall. However, that's been demolished to open up the square. I'm not sure when that was demolished, I think it was the 19th century. But yeah, as you can see, it is a massive standing structure on its own. It's slightly tilted by 55 centimetres, so it's like its own leaning tower in Krakow. But yeah, it's really pretty to look at in terms of the Gothic style architecture in the middle of the square. So there is a restaurant that goes into the basement of the tower, and I'm pretty sure, I want to say I read that you can go to the top and there's a viewpoint, but I'm not 100% sure.
It doesn't look open today anyway,
No.
so we won't be able to do that.
Conveniently, this brings us on to our second stop of the self-guided tour, which is the main square, or the Old Market Square, which is also known as Rhine Colony. So the square has a few historical sites, such as the tower that we just visited, the Cloth Hall and St Marys Basilica.
It's also surrounded with restaurants and bars, which makes it a very vibrant spot in the city. And it's also home to the Christmas markets in December, which we'll be visiting tomorrow.
Yeah, so the square is actually the largest square in Europe, we read. And you can see that it's absolutely massive. It's really busy, there's like quite a lot of people around. However, it's so big, it doesn't feel too crowded.
No.
which is pretty cool. So we're just gonna have a walk around and take a look around the square before heading to our third place.
Okay, our next stop is the Cloth Hall. Now this was built in the medieval era and it's been known for its trade since the 14th century.
Burnt down in the 16th century and reconstructed in a Renaissance style. So it's situated in the middle of the old square and it's probably one of the best places to come for souvenirs and gifts when you're in Krakow. Okay, so you come in and it's like a long stretch of hall and all the stalls are just along the sides. A lot of them seem to be closed. I'm not sure whether that's like due to COVID.
Yeah, I think there is a day where like people specifically come here. It could be a Sunday.
However, there's loads of different stuff. So you've got like your magnets and your like sort of Krakow Poland souvenirs. Then you've got like, there's loads of chessboards in one stall, and then there's loads of jewellery, sort of homemade, like handmade bags, mugs, and there's just loads of different stuff. It's definitely worth coming in and checking out, especially like the way it's set up and the architecture of the building itself is really cool as well. I didn't do anything.
I didn't know where you were.
They didn't even, I was just hiding around the corner while she was looking at a sign.
I didn't know where he was.
But yeah, the cloth hall's really cool just to look at. And I'm just happy enough walking around the square. I'm like, you walk around the square and the architecture around it and some of the buildings are so like cool just to look at, mate.
They're all so different as well.
Yeah. Anyway, we are a short walk to Stockholm before. And if you've been to Krakow, then in order of what we've done so far, you could probably guess what the next stop is.
There it is.
So we're at the fourth stop now, which is the St. Marys Basilica. It was dedicated to the Virgin Mary.
One tower stands at 81 metres tall and the other stands at 69 metres tall.
Yeah, so it's the Gothic style one is 81 and then it's the Renaissance, the one with the Renaissance roof is 69. It's a really prominent building when you step into the main square, and like the tower of the taller, the Gothic style tower, like wherever you are in the city, if you look up you can see this tower, I feel. That's what it was like walking around yesterday.
Yeah.
It's so tall. Yeah, so we're not going to go in today, however it is going to be really beautiful inside, so if you do come, probably visit inside, which we will get around to at some point. But we've got a few more stops we want to get to, so we're just going to carry on going and head to the next spot.
Stop now, which is Florians Street, and it's the most visited street in Krakow.
Basically, it's just got loads of like restaurants and bars and shops on. However, it's got the St. Marys Basilica just on the end of the square side, and then it's got the Florians Tower on the other side.
It's a very picturesque street as well. Like I imagine a lot of people probably have pictures on this street, especially with the basilica in the background as well.
Yeah, because the buildings are the same sort of style as the square buildings. Obviously it is probably one of the main streets leading off from the square.
So we're at our next stop, which is St. Florians Gate Tower, which is at the end of Florians Street.
So the gate tower is part of the city walls, which were first mentioned in 1307, it says here. So there's an attack on Krakow in 1241 and they started to build the towers, the city walls, and there's a moat as well, or was a moat.
This is like a 3D map of the whole of the old town. So we're just here at the ends of Florians Street. This is the Basilica, the clock hall, the tower. That's pretty cool.
The castle.
And the castle, which we'll get to eventually.
Yeah, the last stop. The next stop on our little self-guided tour is the Barbican here. This building is one of the defence buildings. It's just outside the city wall, like the old town walls, and they would have the riflemen in this building, like just defending the city basically. Opposite the St. Florians Gate Tower, which is here, and the Barbican sits just here, and it brings us on to our next stop, which is Plantney Park. So Plantney Park actually goes all the way around the old town, I think, by the looks of things. So the next stop on our little tour is on the south end of the old town. So we're just going to walk through this park. It's definitely somewhere cool to check out. We were walking through yesterday and we were saying it'd be a really cool place just like if you wanted to go for a jog in the evening in summer.
Yeah, or like bike rides and things like that.
Yeah. Okay, so our next stop is St. Francis Basilica. It's meant to have some of the most beautiful stained glass windows in the world. I don't know if we can get in.
We can, we're going to.
Yeah. Okay, that was kind of weird. There was one guy in there taking photos, but just before we went in, like 40 odd
people came out. But we didn't really know like what doors you were meant to go through and what ones you couldn't, so we literally just walked around that small bit and
yeah.
we came out.
I opened the door and it looked as if there was like an altar, so we just decided not to.
We gave it a miss.
Yeah, we decided to leave.
Okay, so we're at Wawel Cathedral and Wawel Castle now, which are our last stops of this little tour. It's situated in the south side of the old town.
It's on top of Wawel Hill, which is just up there. It overlooks the river, which is just down there. We're not going to go up today, we're going to go up next week because Kelsey's parents are coming out.
Yeah.
So we go up with them then. So we'll go into more detail about the castle when we go up.
Yeah, so I guess that's the end of our little self-guided old town tour.
In fairness, I feel like I've learned quite a bit from each stop just by reading off the self-guided tour app. I don't really know how it's turned out for the video, but we'll get it edited and we'll see, because we are planning on doing another one for the Jewish quarter.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out well. A bit different to our other style of videos, I guess.
Yeah.
But we've learned a bit. I know it's been hard to try and convey some of the history in the video, but we feel like we've learned a bit.
Yeah, we've tried our best.
It's been nice to like probably get our sort of feel for the old town and know our way around.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to head back and get some lunch at the apartment, so we'll catch you when we're there. We're back in the apartment now. Kelsey's getting a 5 a day. She had a banana for breakfast and she's having pineapple, apple and orange now. Like that, who says you can't eat healthy on the road? I'll start editing this video now and just see sort of how it turns out, I guess. We need to head out later, so we'll probably just get this edited and catch up with you in a bit. We have just picked up some stuff for food and we are heading back to the apartment. We didn't film in there, totally forgot, had the camera.
And he was a bit busy as well.
Yeah, we were just concentrating on grabbing everything and then just getting out and getting back. yeah, so we're gonna head back to the apartment. We're back in the apartment now. We're just gonna make some food and chill out for the rest of the evening, finish editing the video and get that to upload. Really enjoyed our little tour of the old town.
Yeah, it was really good. It was nice to learn a little bit more about things. I think when you go to a city, you don't tend to take the time to really learn about sort of each building and what it did and what it does and things.
Yes, we've got a really exciting video planned for tomorrow.
Yeah, very excited. We are going to the Christmas market tomorrow. It's been very hard to just walk alongside it. Like, somehow we haven't walked through the Christmas market yet, have
properly, no. So yeah, we're going to check that out tomorrow, and that video will be up on Saturday.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and we'll pick it up in the morning.